Hello, my name is Anna. Have you ever lost something important and needed to ask for help in English? I know how frustrating that can be, especially when you're not confident speaking another language. Today, I want to share a story about the day I lost my cat, Whiskers. It was a stressful situation, but it also became an opportunity for me to practice English in real life. In this story, you will learn how to ask for help, describe things, and give directions all in simple English. I will guide you through every sentence, and you can repeat after me to practice pronunciation. Before we start, remember to turn on the subtitles if you need them. Try repeating key phrases with me as we go. Speaking out loud will help you improve faster. Are you ready? Let's begin. It was a bright morning, and the sun was shining through my bedroom window. I had just made myself a cup of coffee and was getting ready to start my day when I noticed something unusual. Whiskers, my cat, was not in his usual spot. Normally, he would be curled up on the couch or stretching lazily near the window, but that morning, he was nowhere to be found. At first, I wasn't too worried. Maybe he was hiding under the bed or playing in the kitchen. I started looking around the house, Whiskers. I called, checking behind the curtains. Nothing. I bent down to look under the couch. No sign of him. I even opened the fridge, just in case he had somehow climbed inside. Still, nothing. That's when I began to feel uneasy. Whiskers had never disappeared like this before. I checked the front door, and my heart sank. It was slightly open. Maybe he had wandered outside. I quickly put on my shoes and stepped out into the street. The morning air was crisp, and I could hear the distant sound of birds chirping. I looked left and right, hoping to catch a glimpse of my fluffy orange cat. I knew I needed help. But there was one problem. I lived in a neighborhood where most people spoke English. My English was not perfect, and I wasn't sure how to ask for help properly. I hesitated. Should I just look for Whiskers by myself? What if he had gone far away? What if someone else had seen him? I took a deep breath. This was my chance to practice English in a real situation. I had no choice but to speak. I looked around the street, trying to decide who to ask first. Across the road, I saw my neighbor, Mr. Johnson, watering his plants. He was an older man with a friendly face, and I had seen him outside many times before. I took another deep breath and walked toward him. "Excuse me," I said, trying to sound confident. "Have you seen my cat?" Mr. Johnson turned off his hose and looked at me. "Oh no, you lost your cat." I nodded. "Yes, he's small, orange, and very fluffy." He thought for a moment. "What does he look like?" I repeated myself more carefully. "He is small, orange, and fluffy. His name is Whiskers." Mr. Johnson scratched his head. I think I saw a cat near the bakery this morning." Maybe it was him. My heart jumped. Near the bakery. He pointed down the street. "Yes, just a few minutes ago." "You should check there. Thank you so much," I said and hurried in the direction of the bakery. As I walked, I repeated the words in my head. Near the bakery. That was an important phrase. It meant close to the bakery. I needed to remember that for later. A few minutes later, I reached the bakery. The smell of fresh bread filled the air. Inside, I saw the baker behind the counter, arranging loaves of bread on a shelf. I stepped inside and approached him. "Hello," I said, trying to sound polite. "Have you seen a small, orange cat?" The baker looked up and smiled. "A small, orange cat? Yes. I think he went to the park. The park that was even farther away." But at least I had another clue. Thank you. I said quickly and rushed out of the bakery. Now I had a new phrase to remember. I think he went to the park. The baker wasn't completely sure, but he thought Whiskers had gone there. I walked as fast as I could toward the park. My heart was beating fast. What if I couldn't find him? When I arrived, I scanned the area carefully. The park was big, with green grass, benches, and a few people walking their dogs. I listened closely, hoping to hear a familiar meow. Then, near a wooden bench, I spotted something, a small, orange ball of fur. Whiskers, I called. The cat's ears twitched, and he slowly lifted his head. It was him. He was curled up, sleeping peacefully as if nothing had happened. I ran over and carefully picked him up. He stretched and looked at me, sleepy and confused. "There you are," I whispered. "You scared me." I held him close, relieved that he was safe. As I held Whiskers in my arms, I realized something important. Not only had I found my cat, but I had also spoken English with confidence. At first, I was nervous, but by asking for help, I practiced real English in a natural way. Now, let's go over the key phrases from this story so you can use them too. Excuse me, have you seen my cat? This phrase is useful when you need to ask someone about something you lost. You can replace my cat with anything else. Excuse me, have you seen my phone? Excuse me, have you seen my bag? Try repeating this phrase with me. Excuse me, have you seen my... What does he look like, Mr. Johnson asked me this when I described Whiskers. It's a common way to ask for a description. Here are some examples. What does your house look like? What does your friend look like? When someone asks you this question, you can respond using adjectives, just like I did. He is small, orange, and fluffy. I think he went too. The baker wasn't sure, but he gave me his best guess. This phrase is useful when you're not completely certain. I think he went to the store. I think she went to the library. Try repeating after me. I think he went too. By using these phrases, you'll be able to ask for help and give descriptions in English more confidently. Now that we've gone over the key phrases from the story, let's expand them so you can use them in different situations. When I asked for help, I said, "Excuse me, have you seen my cat?" But this phrase isn't just for lost pets. You can use it in many situations. In a store, "Excuse me, have you seen the manager?" At school, "Excuse me, have you seen my notebook?" In a cafe, "Excuse me, have you seen my wallet?" Each time you replace my cat with something new, you make the phrase more useful. Let's also look at what does he look like. In the story, Mr. Johnson asked me about Whiskers' appearance, but this phrase works in different situations. If a friend is picking someone up at the airport, what does he look like? If you are looking for your suitcase, what does it look like? If you are describing a new teacher, what does she look like? Finally, let's practice "I think he went too." In the bakery, the baker told me, "I think he went to the park." This phrase is helpful when you are unsure but want to give a guess. I think she went to the supermarket. I think they went to the train station. I think my friend went home. Now, let's put it all together. Imagine you are in a shopping mall and you lost your friend. You can ask a worker, "Excuse me, have you seen my friend?" If they ask, "What does he look like?" You can respond, "He is tall, has brown hair, and is wearing a blue jacket." And if they say, "I think he went to the food court," you now understand what they mean. By practicing these phrases in different situations, you'll feel more comfortable speaking English in real life. As I walked home with Whiskers in my arms, I felt relieved. My cat was safe, but I had also learned something important. At the beginning of the story, I was nervous about speaking English. I wasn't sure if people would understand me, and I was afraid of making mistakes. But in the end, I realized that English is just a tool for communication. People wanted to help me, and my words didn't have to be perfect, they just had to be clear. Today, you learned 3 key phrases. Excuse me, have you seen? To ask if someone has seen a person or an object, what does he, she, it look like? To ask for a description, I think he, she, it went to. To suggest where someone or something might be. If you practice these phrases, you will feel more confident when speaking English in real situations. And remember, mistakes are part of learning. The most important thing is to keep trying. Every time you use English, you improve. Now, I have a challenge for you. In the comments, try writing a sentence using "have you seen?" I'll read your sentences and help you improve. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you can learn more English with fun stories like this one. See you next time!